Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action. We are back with a special video this time. We're going to take a look at 3 Australian metal bands, 2 death metal bands and 1 black metal band. Particularly, we're going to take a look at the EPs that they released. Previous video I went through some lesser known Australian death metal demo tapes, and today we're going to look at some EPs that are probably a bit more popular with Australian metal fans from the period that they came out. But internationally, I don't think these got much notice. So we're going to go take a look at those today. In the background, we're listening to also an Australian band. This is Carcinoid with their 2018 self-titled demo. Ripping good death doom metal from these guys. Very sludgy stuff. First band we're going to take a look at is a band that I mentioned on the Death Metal Demos video, and that is ENCABULOS with their final EP. This is Abandoning the Flesh from the year 2000. Came out on Venomous Records, a short-lived Australian record label that just did 2 releases, this ENCABULOS EP and the Misery Curses album. That's all they did. And, well, ENCABULOS again, Abandoning the Flesh. As I said, this is the 3rd release from them and the last release from them. There's the inner sleeve there. Front cover. Now, what do you get with these guys? You get pretty brutal death metal. The previous demo, Dark Divinity from 1998, was a step up again from the self-titled demo from, I think it was 97. And this EP took the extremity up another notch. This is the heaviest stuff the band put out. Has 5 tracks. Damnation, Takes Over, Inside the Inferno, Prophetic Cataclysm, Abandoning the Flesh, and Cenotaph, Bolt Thrower cover, which is an incredibly good cover. Now, these guys play a sort of immolation-y, incantation-y kind of death metal, but on this EP, they really added the extra aggression, particularly for the Abandoning the Flesh track, which was getting to like Psychrist level, a little bit of Angel Corpse in there. It's just constant blasting. Really the strongest material they put out. I technically prefer the Dark Divinity demo, but this EP, there's no denying it is some strong death metal. And the next thing that happened is that the band broke up, and then they turned into Crucifier, which is the drummer and guitarist from ENCABULOS, picking up where they left off, particularly with the extra aggression and blasting and evil influence from that EP, Abandoning the Flesh, and they put that into this 7-inch from Crucified. But we're not here to talk about that, we're here to talk about ENCABULOS, and what a fitting EP to go out on. I really don't think many people internationally got to hear this. Venomous Records were a very small label from Sydney suburbs, and as I said, just did 2 releases. They might have had small distribution through Repulse Records in the States. I know the 2 labels were friendly at the time, but I can't be sure. So yeah, not too sure how many of you heard ENCABULOS Abandoning the Flesh, but you really should. The next band we're going to take a look at is a band from Queensland. They are called Crypt. This is their self-titled EP from 1996. This was hugely popular in Australia in the underground metal scene at the time. I remember this EP was everywhere. The band were always talked about. I think there was some radio play on our national broadcaster, Triple J. Actually, I'm pretty sure there was. And what do you get with these guys? Particularly on this EP, you get... is it 5 tracks? 6 tracks of some seriously brutal death metal, just bordering on being brutal death metal. The vocals are about as heavy and gnarly as you're going to get before they start becoming pig squeals. It's just bordering on that. They are some of the best vocals in Australian death metal from Grant Martin. I don't think he did any other band besides Crypt. And Crypt are still, I believe, in existence. They did a 7-inch called BTK which I'm assuming is Blind Torture Kill. And that came out a couple of years ago, and they toured off that very briefly. Hopefully they'll get some more material out. But anyway, this EP from 1996 is some of the strongest death metal that came out of Australia. Very much, as you see on the picture there, it's very dark and zombie filled. They're going for a... it's not quite a mortician sound, it's more of an autopsy sound, but then mixed in with sort of US brutal death metal. Horror themed. I mean, the tracks we got, there's an intro, Zombified, The Undead, Burnt Alive, Disgusting Lust, which is an absolute cracker, and the final track is Torture. They followed this EP up in, I think, 98 with an album called El Nino, which was good, but not as great as this EP. They dropped the guitarist, they tightened the sound up, added a bit more groove to it. This EP is, it's not a blast fest, but man, it's just some thick, twisted death metal. And yeah, if you've never heard Crypt, do check out this 6-track self-titled EP, Crypt from 1996. And the last band we're going to take a look at is one of my personal favourites of the Australian metal scene, black metal band. This is Astrial with their 2000 EP. This is Summoning the Essence of Ancient Wisdom. This is the one that particularly, if you've not heard this, if this did not make its way internationally, then you seriously need to hear it. Astrial are still a band. They haven't released anything new in a while, but they have toured in the last couple of years, played a few shows. I saw them only, I think, 3 years ago with Immolation, I think that was. But this EP, so this came out in the year 2000, it's 5 tracks, opens with an intro that's sort of just explosions and snarling and just sets the pace, and then 3 particularly excellent tracks: Celestial Transcendence of the Aphelion, Serpentitis, and probably their best track that they've ever done, As Mist Befell the Ruins, a constant live staple, has an amazing hook in it. And then it ends with Summoning the Essence of Ancient Wisdom, which is about a 6-minute or so long instrumental track that's yeah, it's quite explorative. It's got acoustic guitars, and it ends with some really nice bass playing on it. But anyway, the EP itself, here's all the stuff that I've got. So there's the inner part of it and the back. Got a flyer in here, which was from the 2000 launch gig for the EP. It's also mentioned on the front here on the hype sticker, the Metal for the Brain concert, which I would have been at in the year 2000, but the one that I remember buying this from was the 18th of November 2000 Black Iron show at the Iron Duke Hotel in Sydney, which is a venue that I massively missed because it's long gone. But anyway, this EP, this band play a heavily melodic Abigor style black metal. That's what they've always tried to go for, to be Australia's Abigor. And I think this EP is still, to me, the strongest material that they did. It's just magnificent. I don't know what else to really say about it. I listen to it frequently. I tell everybody I can about it, and that's exactly why I'm doing this now. This was released on Dissident Records, limited to 500 copies. Not sure how easy it is to find this anymore, being it was 500 copies. But man, look, seriously, just get into anything Astrial because it's all good, but this EP in 2000 can only be matched by the following EP. It came out in 2001, This is Somnium Infinitus, Astrial, Archetype, Anno 2001. This is 3 tracks with, again, one of their absolute highlight tracks, Revere the Labyrinth, that only existed on this EP. An awesome cover of Burzum's Key to the Gate that includes the snare drum fluff that Varg made on the original, which was always fun when they played it live. And then the outro, which is a dark ambient piece, Somnium Infinitus, these Latin words. So this is a Pro CDR that came out. Still works, being a CDR. And I picked this one up at the Metal for the Brain show. There's a bunch of stuff in here. So there's the inner piece. And we get... There was a promo for Midrail, another black metal band, short-lived, I don't think they're around anymore. And the flyer for the 2001 shows last until 2002, as it says there. And I would have been at Metal for the Brain 11, Saturday 28th of October. So there you go. Yeah, Astrial are a fantastic band. As I said, they still exist. There's another EP, though it's practically an album, and then 2 more albums after this EP. And it's all excellent stuff, but particularly this guy and this guy, for me, is the absolute top tier for Astrial. Queensland melodic black metal in the Abagor style. Twin guitar attack, awesome guitar leads, really quality bass, and some excellent fast drumming. It's got sort of scratchy, harsh vocals all the way through it. This is just fantastic stuff. This is Australian black metal at its best. Astrial with Somnium Infinitus and Summon the Essence of Ancient Wisdom.